Welcome to the deep dive. Get ready because the Salesforce Summer 25 release has, well, it's basically landed. The notes are out.
They are indeed. Dropped April 23rd, 2025, and that means a whole wave of new features, updates, functionalities. It's all coming.
Yeah, and look, it doesn't matter if you're an admin, a developer, a user, whatever. Staying on top of these changes is, well, it's pretty crucial, right?
Absolutely. It's about understanding what's new so you can actually leverage it. Maximize efficiency, get ahead of the curve.
Exactly. So that's our mission today. We're going to boil it all down. We'll cover the key dates you need to know, some preparation steps you should probably be thinking about now.
And maybe a little sneak peek at some of the, let's say, more interesting new bits.
Precisely. So if you need the quick, thorough scoop on what's important in Summer 25, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's get into it. First things first, dates and prep.
Right. So the very early access that started back on April 17th, the pre-release orgs became available then.
Okay, remind us what those are again. Think of them like separate little Salesforce environments, standalone developer editions. They come preloaded with all the Summer 25 stuff.
Ah, so a safe place to play around.
Exactly. Learn, build, test things out without touching your main org.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, if you still had access to a Spring 25 pre-release org, you can just log back into that one too.
Handy. Okay, so that was the 17th, and then the big one, the full release notes, you said April 23rd.
April 23rd, yep. Published in Salesforce Help. That's your full guide, the really comprehensive look at everything.
It can be a bit overwhelming, though, can it? The sheer volume.
It can seem that way.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily need to read every single line. The key is to focus, filter down to the products and features you actually use.
Good tip. Focus on your specific Salesforce world.
Exactly. Treat it like your personalized roadmap for this release. It really is the best source for how these changes might affect your setup.
Okay, so we've got early access, release notes. What's the next really critical milestone?
Sandboxes. This is probably the most vital prep step. The deadline to start a sandbox refresh, if you wanted it on the Summer 25 preview, was May 8th, specifically before 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Right, May 8th. Why is hitting that refresh deadline so important?
Because refreshing gets you a copy of your production setup, but with the upcoming Summer 25 features loaded into it, assuming your sandbox instance is scheduled for the preview.
So you can test your own stuff against the new release.
Precisely. Test your customizations, your integrations, any Apex code, flows, everything. You test it in a safe environment before it hits your live users.
Makes perfect sense. Catch problems early.
It saves so many potential headaches down the line. Really, it's non-negotiable if you want a smooth rollout.
Okay, so refresh deadline May 8th. When does that preview actually start in the sandboxes?
The sandbox preview window officially opens on May 9th.
May 9th. And how do you know when your specific sandbox gets updated?
You need to go to Salesforce Trust. That's trust.salesforce.com. Look up your sandbox instance name there. It'll show you the exact maintenance window when the upgrade happens.
Okay, Trust website, check your instance. Got it. And that preview period is really your prime time for testing, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's when you dig in, run your key processes, use your integrations, see how everything behaves with the Summer 25 features active in your specific configuration.
All right, so pre-release orgs, release notes, sandbox refresh deadline, sandbox preview starts May 9th. We're getting closer. When does the main event happen, the production release?
Okay, the production rollouts happen over several weekends. The main dates are May 10th, May 17th, then skipping a bit to June 7th, and June 14th. Those are the 2025 dates, of course.
4 key weekends, but how do I know which weekend my org gets it?
Same place, basically. Back to Salesforce Trust, go to the maintenance calendar section.
Okay.
You can search by your production instance name, like NA130, EU45, whatever it is, or even by your company's My Domain name.
And look under maintenance.
Exactly. It will list the specific date and time window for your Summer 25 upgrade. You can also find this info inside Salesforce itself, actually.
Where?
In Setup, just go to Company Information. Your instance name is usually listed there, and sometimes the release info too, though Trust is generally the most direct way for the maintenance schedule.
Super important to nail down that date for planning, communication, everything. Okay. Anything else on the prep list?
Yes, one more important thing. Starting May 9th, alongside the Sandbox preview, you should also make a point to check the Release Updates section in Setup.
Release updates in Setup. Okay. What's in there?
Salesforce uses this to flag upcoming changes that might require admin action. Things to improve performance, security, maybe changes to how logic works, usability tweaks.
So things Salesforce is changing that might break my stuff if I don't pay attention?
Sometimes, yeah. or just things you need to enable to get the benefits. It shows updates that are due soon, overdue, or already archived. It's always good practice to review these, but especially around a major release.
Right. Check for things needing action. Got it. Okay, that covers the critical path dates, sandboxes, release updates. Now, let's pivot slightly. Any cool new features catching your eye? We can't cover everything, but maybe just a few highlights.
Sure. There are definitely a few interesting ones. One subtle but potentially significant change is the renaming of Sales Cloud Go.
Oh, yeah. What's it called now?
Just Salesforce Go.
Mm.
Simple, right? But the implication, currently it helps discover and set up Sales Cloud features easily.
Kind of like a setup wizard.
Sort of, yeah. But calling it Salesforce Go hints that maybe, just maybe, they plan to expand it to help set up other clouds too. Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud,
Interesting. Simplifying setup across the board would be nice. What else?
Something that was piloted before but is now generally available GA is individual dashboard widget refresh.
Ah, I remember hearing about that. So instead of refreshing the whole dashboard.
You can just refresh one specific chart or metric if you have a really complex dashboard. Refreshing the whole thing can take a few seconds, right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with lots of data.
So being able to just update the one component you care about right now, that should make things feel much quicker, more responsive. It's a user experience win.
Definitely sounds like it. Nice little performance boost. Anything else flagged?
Yeah, one for the admins, potentially. There's a new option for handling report and dashboard subscription notifications.
Okay. How so?
Currently, those email notifications usually come from the person who set up the subscription, or maybe a default admin. Now, you can designate a specific organization-wide email address for those notifications.
Oh, like reports at mycompany.com or something?
Exactly. So if the person who set up the subscription leaves, the notifications don't just stop or go to a dead inbox. It helps centralize things, makes managing those subscriptions a bit easier, less dependent on individuals.
That sounds really practical, actually. Good for continuity. One more quick one.
Okay, one more. Deleting custom objects. It sounds basic, but they've apparently streamlined it when there are relationships involved.
How so? It can be a pain figuring out what's linked where before you delete.
Right. So now when you go to delete a custom object, Salesforce will apparently show you a much more detailed page listing all the related lookup fields, master detail relationships, etc. It'll even show the field API names and provide direct links.
Ah, so it does the detective work for you.
Pretty much. Makes it much easier to find and remove those connections before you hit the final delete button. Just another nice admin efficiency improvement.
Okay, those are some neat examples. Salesforce Go, widget refresh, org-wide email for subscriptions, easier custom object deletion. Just a taste, really.
Just scratching the surface. There's obviously a lot more packed into Summer 25.
And for listeners who want to dive deeper into those features and many others.
Well, for a more comprehensive look, we definitely recommend checking out our blog, Creme de la CRM.
Absolutely. Our team is already digging through the notes, and as we get closer to the go-live weekends, we'll be posting release highlights, our analysis, deep dives into the features we think are most impactful.
Yeah, we'll be covering the updates and upgrades we're most excited about over there, so definitely keep an eye on Creme de la CRM.
Please do. So wrapping this up then, the main takeaway today is Summer 25 is here, it's significant, and you need to be ready, really.
That's the gist of it. Awareness and preparation are key. Know the dates, check your sandbox, review the release updates.
Exactly. Staying informed is how you make sure you're getting the most out of Salesforce and how you ensure a smooth transition for your users. So we really encourage you, dive into those notes, think about how these new features can help your org.
Get ready to leverage Summer 25.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.